CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with an expansion for a life-changing program designed here in London. With new funding and partnerships, the people behind IHEAL are trying to reach even more women facing intimate partner violence. Rita Ismail reports.
I wanted to get out of that relationship. I was trapped. I couldn't.
She asked us not to reveal her identity, but she wants others to know healing is possible.
They use their manipulative strategies to keep you in the relationship because by that point they learn your weak points.
This survivor says the IHEAL program gave her the tools that she needed to reclaim her life.
It's helped incredibly. I think with all the other supports, like there's the counseling, the therapy, just the self-work and things like that. IHEAL program enhanced it.
Developed by researchers at Western University, the program connects women with specially trained nurses who guide them through issues like health, safety, relationships, and access to resources.
The impacts of violence on women's lives is really broad. It affects so many different things, their health, their safety, their relationships, their children, even their economic situation. And yet a lot of the services that we have, the really fine services we have, by the way, are more oriented to helping women during crisis period. But we know that we need some focus as well on kind of the longer term view.
Thanks to $2.4 million in new provincial funding, IHEAL is expanding beyond London for the first time, launching this fall in Elgin, Oxford, and St. Thomas. 8 nurses from the Middlesex London Health Unit and Southwestern Public Health are being trained to deliver personalized care.
It's been life-changing. It's been inspiring. We've learned a lot from the women that we've worked with and the IHEAL research team. So I think the education that we've been provided has really helped to equip nurses in supporting women experiencing intimate partner violence and supporting them with some individualized one-on-one personal care.
Researchers hope the program's success will inspire expansion to even more communities and reach survivors across Canada, something that this survivor hopes to help with by sharing her story.
Try to let go of that fear and just save yourself. Don't think about anyone except getting yourself safe and getting the help that you need to recover.
Rita Ismail, CTV News.
Recognition today in St. Thomas on the progress the community has made on homelessness and addiction and the work still to be done. Sean Irvin has more on today's event and what it means for the people who have relied on the city's supports.
As the flag to mark International Overdose Awareness Day was raised in front of St. Thomas City Hall, many in the crowd remembered those lost to addiction. Some also reflected on their journey from despair to recovery.
I was on the street for about 4 years.
Sarah Pepper runs a peer support group today, but 5 years ago she was struggling to survive. At the time, St. Thomas residents were not as open to those battling addiction and homelessness. There were also far fewer services.
We had one drop-in center, and that was it. There was no soup kitchen, there was no peer support, there was nothing like that. It was pretty rough. When you were on the street then, you were on the street.
Fast forward to the present, and St. Thomas is known Canada-wide for its proactive efforts to help those on the streets.
If you look at where we were about 5 years ago, things were a lot worse, but we've made significant investments in St. Thomas, and we started with homelessness, and we felt that people needed a place to stay, and if they weren't in the right frame of mind with a place to stay, then they couldn't make other advancements in their life.
From supportive housing to in-person services, the change is being felt at the ground level.
That gives people hope, and when they have hope, they want to recover and they want to do better.
While there is a lot of pride in what St. Thomas has accomplished so far, advocates say one key service is still missing. But as the province moves to recovery hubs, a plea for a safe injection site isn't likely to be heard. Sarah hopes opinions can be changed.
Not having that, it gives them no choice but to have to do it outside and in places where maybe people don't want to see it, but they have no other choice.
But as challenges on the street persist, this community keeps talking.
Just the fact that people are discussing things like this now, it's not swept under the rug anymore. People can be safe, they can be open about what they need.
In St. Thomas, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
Many beer stores across Ontario will close this fall, which means there will be that many fewer outlets to return empties. The provincial government seems to be banking on supermarkets and convenience stores picking up the slack, but as Heather Wright reports, that doesn't seem likely.
Last year, more than 1.6 billion empties were returned to Ontario beer stores, according to the retailer.
It's $33 here.
But with more than 100 locations either shuttered or slated to close by the end of the year, some fear the program won't survive.
Where are those people going to get their money back? You're not going to drive an hour to a beer store.
Most provinces have some sort of deposit return program, whether it's through retailers or purpose-built depots. In Ontario, the program has been run by the beer store for decades, a retailer owned by international brewing companies that once had a monopoly on beer sales in the province. The Ford government canceled that contract, allowing for beer and wine to be sold in grocery and convenience stores, paying a $225 million penalty to end it early.
There is more points of sale to buy it, but what's going to happen with the recycling and the empties?
At this point, it's unclear. According to the province, grocery stores that sell alcohol must begin accepting empties and providing refunds on January 1st. But now some grocers, including Loblaws, Metro and Sobeys, are rethinking selling booze. Retail settings are not designed to accommodate bulk returns of alcohol containers, the Retail Council of Canada said in a statement. Given the cost and operational complexities of managing alcohol returns, some retailers are reassessing whether it remains viable to continue selling alcohol. The union representing beer store workers expects more closures next year, a hit to recycling efforts and to those who rely on empties to make ends meet.
This is really helpful for us.
The province says the beer store will continue to operate the deposit and return program until 2031, but with more and more stores like this one closing, it's not clear if consumers will go out of their way to return their empties. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
More than 150 workers could soon be out of a job in Amherstburg when the Crown Royal bottling facility closes down early next year. Sanjay Maru reports.
Diageo is not just Amherstburg's largest employer. It represents far more to this shoreline town of about 25,000.
You have generations of families that have worked there. Amherstburg's wrapped their arms around that facility.
Inside, crews bottle and package Crown Royal, filling, capping, and case packing before finished cases ship to distributors in Canada and the U.S. Come February, the doors are closing on this nearly 100-year-old facility, putting 160 people out of a job.
To be quite frank with you, I was pissed off. I made it clear to the company that they have a fight on their hands because it was basically reading me a letter with no details, just saying it was a business decision.
In a statement, the company says it's part of a plan to streamline its North American supply chain, shifting some bottling closer to U.S. consumers, while Crown Royal's mashing, distilling, and aging remain in Canada. For this community, the shutdown raises difficult questions about what Amherstburg looks like without its largest employer.
I've asked the CAO and the treasurer to look at the economic impact that is going to have on Amherstburg.
Amherstburg Mayor Michael Prue says he plans on reaching out to Invest Windsor-Essex to see if anyone would be interested in taking over this massive facility.
Without the jobs, we become a bedroom community, and I, as mayor, do not want that. We're trying to increase our commercial industrial base. We've been very successful in the last year. This is a major blow.
Diageo says Crown Royal whiskey destined for Canada and non-U.S. export markets will continue to be bottled in Canada, but at the company's facility in Valleyfield, Quebec. As for the union, officials say they are coordinating efforts with Unifor leadership to develop a strategy to try and keep the plant open. Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
London police are launching Project Learn this weekend as post-secondary students arrive for the new school year. The annual campaign was launched in 2007, focusing on liquor enforcement and noise reduction. According to LPS, during September, there will be an increased police presence focusing on parties, open alcohol consumption, underage drinking, and public intoxication. The country's highest legal authority will not hear an appeal over Sauble Beach ownership. The Supreme Court has dismissed a request from the town of South Bruce Peninsula. The municipality was fighting the Saugeen First Nation for waterfront ownership, a 35-year court battle. In April 2023, the Ontario Appeal Court ruled a 2.2-kilometer stretch of the beach belonged to the First Nation. Today's decision means the municipality's legal options to contest that ruling are effectively exhausted.
That's how resilient and patient our people have been to feel finally heard and seen and validated. We all have an obligation, a duty to protect this land and this water and making sure that it's still here for future generations.
In a statement, municipal officials with South Bruce Peninsula say they won't comment on the decision until the town's next council meeting, which is scheduled for Tuesday. The National Plowing Championships are underway, bringing farmers from all over the country to our region, competing for the perfect furrow. With more on the event, here's Scott Miller.
The art of turning a proper furrow is on display in farmers' fields near Ayton this week as the best plowmen in Canada take part in our National Plowing Championships.
It's nice to see the tradition carry on. I mean, this is the top in Canada to see, and the opportunity to go to the Worlds. I went to the Worlds back in 2017. It's a great opportunity.
A select group of predominantly farmers are trying to keep their fields straight and their furrows clean and precise as judges watch on.
We want the furrows even, well packed. We want all the grass and sod buried. We don't want sticks or straw sticking up or green sticking up, and we want nice ins and outs that we can finish the field with, just plow them in nicely.
Plowing has been around for thousands of years, starting with an ox and stick. Its purpose is to simply turn the soil over to create a new fresh bed to seed. It is used less and less in modern agriculture, though, as no-till farming and other advancements decrease the use of turning a furrow.
Yeah, it is going away on farms. Lots of farms still do. It's, it's just one tool that we can use to grow good crops, but certainly keeping the art of it and the skill and the quality, it's just, it's nice to see it carry on.
No one is happier to see it carry on than Bert Byance, who has come all the way from Strathroy to watch the Canadian Plowing Championships. He has plowed for Canada at 8 World Championships. He started turning furrows at the ripe age of 7.
People play hockey, play baseball, and we do the plowing. So that's basically it is. But if you want to make money, maybe baseball or hockey pays better.
Turning the best furrow here is about a lot more than just bragging rights. The winners and those that qualify will represent Canada at the World Plowing Championships taking place next month in Europe.
It's just one thing like we can celebrate in agriculture, right? And kind of farmers can come together and appreciate the sport.
Near Ayton, Scott Miller, CTV News.
A would-be coffee run recently went wrong for a little critter seemingly on the hunt for a caffeine hit. A skunk got stuck, but fortunately, a helping hand was nearby. Lauren Stallone reports.
It looks like humans aren't the only ones eager to espresso their excitement for the new Tim Hortons fall menu.
I could hear this sound, the banging of the cup on the sidewalk there, and I went out to investigate.
Careful, Bree.
This curious furry friend found itself in a bit of a jam, stuck with a coffee cup to his head. Thankfully, some local residents stepped in to brew up a happy ending.
I wanted to help the little one out, but I took a chance, I guess, risking maybe getting sprayed.
Brianne Kuche says she approached the neighborhood's black and white bandit determined to help.
Nice.
Brianne says she's just happy she was there at the right time.
Helping out the animals when they're stuck like that, I think everyone should try at least to do something.
From coffee cups to close calls, this rescue is a reminder that kindness goes a long way. It may be a reminder to keep your coffee lids on tight. Lauren Stallone, CTV News, London.
Still to come, the Littlest honky tonk bringing in big star power. The Canadian music fans converting an old animal trailer into a mobile country concert. Canada's main stock index struggled to find a direction today, finishing flat. The TSX gained just 2 points. In New York, the Dow added 72, the Nasdaq up 115. Canadian dollar gained 1/3 of a cent. On commodity markets, gold gained almost $26 an ounce. Oil is up 45 cents a barrel. Authorities in Ukraine are reporting one of the biggest and deadliest Russian attacks since the invasion began. Hundreds of missiles and drones raining down on multiple sites, killing at least 19 people, children among them. Rachel Aiello has more on the latest deadly escalation.
Multiple body bags pulled from this smoldering residential building in Kyiv after Russia launched a massive air attack on the capital. Dozens of buildings were hit or damaged by debris. Russia claimed the strikes were targeting Ukraine's military-industrial complex, but the death toll, expected to climb, already includes 4 children.
The Ukrainians are holding very hard, and so the Russians are pounding. They're not willing to negotiate yet.
The attack, the first targeting the city center since the Alaska summit, raising new questions about where U.S. President Donald Trump's peace talks stand.
He was not happy about this news, but he was also not surprised.
The European Union and United Kingdom are summoning Russia's envoys after strikes damage their diplomatic offices in the capital.
We are keeping maximum pressure on Russia.
The Canadian embassy was not hit. Foreign Affairs confirming all staff are safe. But that didn't deter Prime Minister Mark Carney from blasting Russia in a lengthy statement. By murdering when he should be talking, Putin demonstrates in the most horrific manner that his mission to subsume the Ukrainian people under his tyranny continues, Carney said in part. The Prime Minister was just in Kyiv, where he vowed Canada's aid contributions could expand in the event of a ceasefire.
And I would not exclude the presence of troops.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has been working the phones with top world leaders in the aftermath of the attack, thanking them for their support and pressing for tough new sanctions on Russia. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Hello, I'm meteorologist Gary Archibald for CTV News. Cold front that has swept through southern Ontario has brought significant rains, especially anywhere from London due east towards, say, Fort Erie, Niagara Falls. In behind it, cool air, as you can imagine, with that northwesterly wind profile still in place for the overnight. And temperatures before dawn tomorrow will be in the mid-single digits. I'll break down whether or not we'll see cool temperatures for a long weekend. The weather stories coming up next.
Welcome back, and Gary Archibald with me now to take a look as we get closer to this long weekend. It has certainly been a chillier week, especially overnight, Gary.
You're right about that. In particular, overnight temperatures projected, Carlyle, to be in the mid-single digits. Yes, 5 or 6 degrees before dawn Friday morning. So some of us do get up that early to head to work. Maybe take the dog out, go for a jog before getting into the office. Whatever it is, you might require extra layers. And temperatures today have been cooler, especially for the afternoon high. 19 degrees. Of course, we've seen rain with this frontal boundary moving through. This cold front, of course, is getting a good push. A lot of momentum coming out of the northwestern region of the province, and northwesterlies are streaming right across the Great Lakes, and that too enhancing the cold air field. The cold air is in place at the surface, reinforced by, of course, the winds, and there's still a chance of some showers and thunderstorm activity. That is most likely going to head a little bit further east of us tonight, perhaps towards Fort Erie and Niagara Falls. Now, the good news story is the next 24 hours, although there could be some showers tomorrow morning, it doesn't look like it's going to be a widespread affair, if you will. And if we do see it at all, it will be light and quite intermittent. Not much to see, and most of it is stateside, pushing south and east of us. The good news also for the weekend is a ridge of high pressure will start to build in, and I'm promising a rebound of temperatures. And speaking of a rebound, we will rebound from this. This is below seasonal across the board. Look at this, 6 degrees in Barrie, 6 in Kitchener, so too in the great city of London. A low of 7 degrees in Sarnia, Grand Bend and Goderich, about 6, 7. All of these temperatures several degrees below seasonal. It's just that cold air that's reinforced and consistently being pushed into our neck of the woods. Take a look at the 7-day forecast. I promise a recovery in terms of daytime highs. The lows still cool through the weekend, Saturday morning, Sunday morning, but sunny through Labor Day. And it's a long weekend for a lot of people. Well, the last summer days before heading back to school. Next week we'll be in the mid-20s, not just for London, but also for the Midwest. Showers tomorrow, a cool 18 degrees, then sunny and low to mid-20s. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, even Tuesday and Wednesday, a mixture of sun and cloud. It looks good. All in all, I think most people will be pleased with this forecast to end summer and begin school. Let's look at your weather. Carlyle?
Thank you, Gary. A new report on Canadian sport indicates abuse, harassment, and discrimination are widespread and ongoing under a culture of silence. With more on the findings and the report's recommendations for improving the situation, here's Andrew Johnson.
Do you see this? They traveled the country for a year, speaking to hundreds of athletes, administrators, coaches, and parents. The consensus, clear.
The Canadian sports system is in crisis. As many have told us, it is broken.
The Future of Sport in Canada Commission found evidence of widespread abuse and mistreatment at all levels. A lack of protection for children and Olympians alike left vulnerable.
Physical punishment, sexual assault, training while injured, humiliation, intimidation, isolation tactics, failures to provide medical care, discrimination and exploitation.
The commission also found in a win-at-all-costs culture of silence, when an athlete musters up the courage to come forward, they often run into a brick wall.
Lost in the web of various complaints mechanism, resulting in many feeling helpless and abandoned.
The commission is making 71 recommendations for change. It suggests the creation of a unified national safe sport tribunal to eliminate the patchwork between local, provincial, and federally regulated organizations and enforce legislation at all levels. Federal funding being made conditional on compliance, background checks, and a nationwide public registry to flag wrongdoers and restrict access. Survivors of abuse like gymnast Amelia Klein say with the release of this report, their horrible experiences are finally being validated.
To have them influence what we hope is going to be meaningful change in the system is, there are hardly words to actually describe what that feels like.
She says the ball is now in Ottawa's court to act. These are only recommendations that, after another round of feedback, will then be presented to government. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
There's a push in Nova Scotia to make it the first province in Canada to set an age limit for social media use. A new bill would ban kids under 16 from creating accounts, an effort to protect young people and their mental health. Emma Convey reports.
Ruby May has 4 grandchildren, all 6 and under. In her household, social media isn't an issue because the kids aren't allowed to use it.
My granddaughters are not allowed on the internet. Anything that they watch is all pre-taped and pre-monitored by their parents.
May is a strong supporter of a social media ban for children under 16. Her reason, protection.
And deep supervision if they are on it. No posting of minors on the internet due to the number of scammers and pedophiles that are out there these days that are stalking these children.
Whether or not that becomes a law here in Nova Scotia, the provincial Liberals are on board, putting forward a bill this morning.
Today is about restricting social media access to Nova Scotians under the age of 16.
That's when they're starting to drive, that's when they're starting to become an adult. We have to start teaching them how to be on these platforms safer. But under that, Their development is so impacted by forming their identity at that age and the influence that these algorithms have on the content they're seeing.
The bill put the onus on tech companies to police it.
The way we can do it is to make the companies self-regulate and have penalties in place if they don't.
Some experts suggest delaying access as long as possible.
North American youth are now telling us they're spending on average about 4 hours a day, 4 hours a day. They're feeding our kids a steady diet of anxiety and outrage that is making them upset and unwell.
But some say there are benefits.
Kids using the social media actually gain a lot of knowledge.
Emma Convey, CTV News, Halifax.
Finally tonight, an Alberta couple chasing big music dreams with a tiny stage. They created what they call the Littlest honky tonk, and as Stephanie Thomas reports, they're already recruiting some serious star power.
Post Malone and his band crammed into the Littlest honky tonk, a converted horse trailer towed from Calgary down to floor level at the Rice Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake City, Utah. Posty is on the road for his country album F1 Trillion Stadium Tour, but he wanted to strum on this little stage.
His manager saw one of our videos organically, which is the best way that we could get out.
Boots and Laura Graham recently started a video series recording local and international country musicians in the Littlest honky tonk. In June, Post Malone recorded 2 videos celebrating country western lifestyle.
He was dragging calves at a branding the day before, like working cowboy stuff. And he has platinum teeth and face tattoos and a rap career, so I was not expecting that. It was completely out of left field for me.
The couple began refurbishing a horse trailer in 2021, over time adding more music memorabilia. Now, it's like a mini museum.
It's like stuff we're interested in and have always been interested in, so it's like country music stuff. As people know what we're doing, they kind of want to be a little part of the project as well.
The stories from this tiny set are almost as precious as the items on its walls.
Post Malone stood between these horns, or Corb Lund was a little bit too tall, so he had to crouch down in here. And
they hope to one day host other icons of country music and maybe take the trailer down to Nashville.
Sky's the limit. Dolly Parton. Here we come.
Stephanie Thomas, CTV News, Calgary.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For all of us at CTV News London, I'm Carlyle Fiset. Have a good night.